It's Kelly Green week as the Eagles have a huge task taking on the Miami Dolphins this week. And we got reports that the Eagles spent all day yesterday making phone calls trying to find some help in the secondary. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So the Eagles have finally having Kelly Green week this week. It is here, and on this channel, we're always with the Kelly Green. That's what we live and we love. Now, the Eagles have a tough matchup this week as they go up against the number one offense in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. And listen, coming off the loss and a horrible loss in a game you should have won to the New York Jets, the Eagles got a big challenge, a big test ahead of them. Maybe that's why Howie Roseman was on the phone all day yesterday trying to get some secondary help, and we're going to get into it in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. If you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. And I also want to thank everybody who was here on my stream last night, watching the Chargers, Cowboys, the Phillies, and Diamondbacks. The Phillies game went really well. That was the most important thing. Unfortunately, the Cowboys won. Not surprised, though, at all, because the Chargers can't win primetime games. Now, the other thing we got to talk about real quick is the Eagles signed a running back today, okay? Philadelphia Eagles announced we signed a running back, Lou Nichols, to the practice squad and released running back Bryant Koback from the practice squad. Lou Nichols is, I believe, 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", 220, so a little bit of a bigger back. He was drafted by Green Bay, I believe, in the 7th round. He had an injury and was cut with an injury settlement. Practice squad guy, no big deal. I will say this, though. Leonard Fournette was going to go and work out for the Buffalo Bills. That got canceled. I think I might give him a call. I think the Eagles need to do something with the running backs. Okay, I think you can't just keep going DeAndre Swift, they barely go Boston Scott, but DeAndre Swift, Kenneth Gainwell. You get down inside the 10, you put Kenneth Gainwell in, it all goes to hell. I think they need a 1-2 punch of DeAndre Swift and then a bigger back, like a Jordan Howard type back. Now, you might be saying to me, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Philly, we already have that. We already have that on our roster. We have Rashad Penny. And I agree with you. You would think that with Rashad Penny being a little bit of a bigger back, that they would dress him and play him, but they don't. He's a scratch every week. I don't know why he's a scratch every week, but he is. So maybe, if you're not going to use him, maybe you should look at a guy like a Leonard Fournette and bring him in. Get some little bit of size, on this team at running back. It may not be a bad idea. And now in the meantime, I would start Penny. I would not start Penny, but I would dress Penny this week. He would be my number 2 back, and it would be DeAndre Swift. And then when I get down in short situations, I get down the red zone, put Penny in. Let's see what he can do. What do you have to lose? This game this week is going to be, in my opinion, and we'll get into the breakdown on Friday and everything, but in my opinion, the way you're going to have to play this game is not like you play every other team. It has to be different. They have the number 1 offense in the National Football League. The number 1 offense, okay? John McMullen said this. What did he say? He said, the Dolphins have the number 1 offense in the NFL, and the Pound Eagles are number 2. But the disparity is quite something. 498 yards a game to 395 yards. It's almost 100 yards more a game than the Eagles. So the Eagles are number 2 and they're number 1, and they've got 100 more yards. This team can score, they can score quick, and they can score in bunches. And normally I would say, you can go out and do everything you want to do on offense. This week is one of those weeks where I say, listen, you have to run the ball. You have to run the ball. You have to slow the tempo down, Keep them off the field. Eat up clock. 8, 9-yard drives. DeAndre Swift, he needs 20 carries this week. Rashad Penny, give him 10 carries. Give Gainwell 5 carries. Give Boston Scott 5 carries. Like, you're going to have to run the ball this week because you don't want that offense on the field. They can score so quick and in bunches. Do you know Tyreek Hill's like on the verge of already going over 1,000 yards receiving? So this whole game and this whole approach is going to have to be a little different. And I hope that Sean DeSai, I hope that on defense, he continues to make the proper adjustments. You know, I talk a lot about you having to press guys up the line of scrimmage. This week, I understand playing a little bit back with Tyreek Hill. I truly do. But you've got to get to Tua. That's where you're gonna beat Miami. You have to beat him at the line of scrimmage. You're gonna have to get to Tua and hit him. You got to chop the head off of the snake. And we're going to have to, you know, it's Kelly Green week. They have the, you know, backdrop at the press conference. You see Sean DeSai here. You know, it's time to bring back the spirit of that old Buddy Ryan type defense. You know what? Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, Jerome Brown, Mike Pitts, Golick rotating in, Byron Evans in the middle, Seth Joyner, William Thomas. Well, William Thomas is actually on the bench. Don't forget Jesse Small. And then you have Eric Allen, Ben Smith, Wes Hopkins, Andre Waters. You need that attitude this week versus Miami, and you need to go create your own House of Pain game. This is a big test to the Eagles. And even win or lose, really, how they play and how this game goes, it's going to show us a lot about this team and what they're made of. I expect this team to rebound this week, and I think they're going to surprise the world. I really do. But it's going to be a tough game. And I do love that Kelly Green is out there. You know, it's really cool. The other thing, you know, as I said in the intro, Howie Roseman apparently has been really scouring the league trying to find and get help. Word on the Birds wrote this: Howie Roseman and staff spent Monday trying to find secondary help per JCT Sports. Really hope a move is imminent. I think something's coming. I just don't think it's going to happen by Sunday, but I do think by the trade deadline. I think Jeremy Chin has to probably be the most likely scenario for you. And I expect the Eagles to get a safety. I mean, they may be looking for another corner now. It's going to be interesting later on in the week to see where some of these guys like Roby, where they fall out in terms of injury, because we need Darius Slay back. We need Blankenship to play. Every safety we have is hurt. Like, every safety. So we need help. We need help in the secondary. They're going to have to figure something out. I really think the two most likely positions right now, as of today, are a safety and I think a wide receiver. I also think the Eagles are going to look to bring in another receiver. With Quez Watkins on the IR, you got to do something. Now, I don't know if it's going out and getting a Jerry Jeudy. A lot of people think that would be a waste. I personally think Jeudy could be a sneaky good signing in that the guy has talent. We know he has talent, but he needs a change of scenery. And to come in, maybe put him in the slot. You have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown out there. Maybe it'll do him a lot of good, you know. And listen, A.J. Brown has been on fire. Devontae Smith last week, worst game of his career. I look for a rebound game from Devontae. The one thing I love about Devontae Smith is he didn't make no excuses. He didn't say the lights got in his eyes, the sun got in his eyes, you know, whatever. He said he didn't catch the ball. You got to catch the ball. He screwed up. He had a bad game. And I expect Devontae Smith to rebound, as I do the rest of this team. It's going to be really interesting the next 2 weeks, because now you got the Eagles. They're only one game ahead of Dallas in the division. But they still got the best record in the NFL. I see that power rankings are coming out. The 49ers are still considered the best team in the league. I don't know how, but I think the Detroit Lions are now like 2. So the Detroit Lions have moved up. The Eagles are stuck at 4 behind Kansas City. And I think Detroit Lions are definitely a team that is now in the mix for the conference. They're a good team. They are a really good team. So, you know, those 3 teams, the Eagles, Niners, and Detroit Lions, it's going to be a dogfight. And the Eagles got to find a way to make up for this loss to the Jets. I honestly thought, in all truthfulness, Leading up to this game, the last few weeks, I felt like the Eagles were going to beat the Jets and lose to the Dolphins. I thought that the Dolphins would get us their first loss. It just made sense. You have to have a loss come somewhere. They're really hot right now. But, that Jet loss wasn't expected. So you've got to make up for it. If they could beat the Dolphins on Sunday, then I would say, you know what, we're exactly where I think we should be. And then I think you got 2 division games with Washington and Dallas. You can win both those games, and you can go in the bye week with only 1 loss. Now, if you would you be 6-0, 6-1, 7-1, 8? You could be 8-1. There's no reason, if the Eagles could pull this game off, there's no reason they shouldn't be 8-1 at the bye, going and getting ready for the Kansas City Chiefs. There should be no reason for it. But this team has to come up big this week. We need the coaches to make the proper adjustments, and they're going to have to do something at the secondary, and they're going to have to do something, I think, at that third wide receiver, and I think they've got to adjust the running backs. Now, I think they can make the adjustments with Rashad Penny, that your running backs would be fine, because I really like Swift. I think Penny could come in and really help you, but they've got to do it. I think this DeAndre Swift, and then Gainwell, then Swift, and, it's usually like Swift, Gainwell, Swift, Gainwell, Swift, Gainwell, Swift, Gainwell, then Swift. It's like you gotta mix it up better than that. You have to do a better job than that. So we'll see what's going to happen. Kelly Green week is here. I am just so happy to put last week behind us. It was a miserable week, no doubt about it. And I'm ready to get this game on with the Miami Dolphins. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. So, I keep talking about the red zone and maybe the need to go out and get a bigger back. Get this. John McMullen put up interesting statistics for our offense, right? As much as we think we struggle on offense, check out some of these numbers. Pound Eagles are top 10 in total offense, number 2. Rushing offense, number 2. Passing offense, number 9. Points per game, number 5. Third down offense, number 1. Fourth down offense, number 7. But here's where it gets crazy. 23rd in red zone efficiency. That number has to go way up. That number is why we're saying, damn, we're struggling on offense. We can't seem to move the ball because we can't score. We're not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. I think a big back should be a real legitimate consideration for the Eagles. Denzel Washington out.